Hey folks, Scully Nomad here. Hope you are well, and an extra special welcome to the channel if you're new. I do a range of different videos depending what I'm up to. A lot of the videos are fixing my car, that's how together with duct tape and hope, things like this, which is adventures. And I also own a 40-foot sailboat, which you can see the tour on my channel, and I answer a lot of your questions. This is one of those videos where I answer your question. Now, I started YouTube just over a year ago. One of the questions I get asked the most is how much money have I made from it. So just to give you a summary, I'll put up here what I've done. So I've made around 100 videos so far, and all in all it's made me around £220 up until today. But I didn't do it for money. I didn't even think I'd make any money from it, to be fair. Just over a year ago, I had basically I became single after a relationship of 5 years breakdown, and along with that I had a whole bunch of work cancelled on top of that. So I ended up basically with a whole bunch of spare time and not any money to do anything, of course, because of all the work cancellations. So the time when I wanted to be busiest the most was when a whole bunch of work got cancelled. So I had a GoPro and my car needed fixing. So my car is 15 years old. I've just done a stealth camp setup on my car, but my car needed fixing so I picked up a few things. You know, I serviced the engine on my boat myself. This is my view, by the way. So I started servicing the car myself, but that wasn't the first video. I've been interested in alternative living and lifestyles, the outdoors, camping, all that type of stuff for a while. I do own a boat, which I stay on board from time to time, and eventually I want to go seasonal cruising. So this is one of the reasons why I'm building up the channel, to hopefully be able to afford to go off long distance. In the meantime, I'm trying to save up for a camper van. So when I do cast off and head off, I've always got somewhere I can fly back to. So do some work in the UK and then fly back to wherever the boat is and then carry on. And that's kind of what I want to do. Now, I borrowed a drone and I took the drone out and I spun it around the boat, and I did a little bit of an intro, which was one of my first videos. Then I was back at home, my car needed servicing, and so I learned how to do it myself. I had the tools already from the boat and servicing the boat engine. Now, I'm not an engineer or anything. And then I recorded that video because I thought, how can I help other people? And I documented the experience, so it definitely gave a lot of people the inspiration to go and pick up the tools and do some jobs. And I try and explain things, what I'm doing, as easy as possible. So not necessarily how-to videos, but more of a case of documenting what I've done. And then I did another video about how much my boat cost. Now, this video had something like 50,000 people view it in a space of 2 weeks, and with that video it got me most of my subscribers and it got me most of my view time, because to get monetized off YouTube you need 4,000 watch hours and then you need 1,000 subscribers. Let me show you what I'm looking at right now. And I got monetized. You never really know how a video is going to do. One of my most recent videos is a trip from Birmingham to Belfast, where I go on a cruise ship. It's from a company that I worked for, so I was there for business. But you know, that video has only had like 100 people view it, so you never really know how it's going to go. Now, videos, they take a long time to do, so this one shouldn't take me too long, although I'm just kind of making it up as I go along and I'm trying to watch my footing. It's mostly just point, shoot, go and share the experience with you. Now, am I going to get one person view this video? Hopefully, maybe. Am I going to get thousands of people view the video? I don't know, who knows. But yeah, almost at the waterfall now, and making the content has given me something to do, especially when I've not had any work on. And then of course now I'm getting some financial incentive to carry on and create the content. Now, I just do it because I got spare time. Oh, that's nice. Let me show you this. You can just see the waterfall just here. So it's given me something to do. Now the money that I make off YouTube is definitely not enough to go crazy sailing around the world on adventures. It's not even enough to buy a coffee. So for those guys who are interested in making content in order to actually make money and live off, it is very hard to do. I mean, as I said, I've made over 100 videos now. Some of them are shorts, which count for that. But to make a video, it takes about 8 to 10 hours to edit. You also have to think of ideas of what to do, what to say. Doing the camera parts takes time, especially if you're having technical difficulties. So I do not recommend the GoPro Hero 10, which is the video that I've been filming on the most. I wanted something that was robust, reliable and waterproof and all that, and it's not. But let me show you this. I'm just filming on my phone today using a little gimbal, so hopefully it doesn't shake too much. But now you know how much money I've made from it. So just over £220 on those videos. But that's not all that I make from YouTube. So this month I've not made anything from Amazon links, but let's say I recommend a product and I put the link in the description below. If you click on that and you go on to buy that product, I get like fractions of a penny. So for example, I don't recommend the Hero 10, so I won't put it on there. I do recommend some of the car stuff that I put on there and some filters, and people have gone off to buy it, and therefore I've got a little bit of a commission on there, but it works out as about £10 a month. Look at that, very nice. So this is why I brought the car here. It's getting dark. Bring my torch with me and my coat because the sun is setting, it's winter. You can see on the ground the snow. It's actually 3 degrees now. So here's all the snow on there. So that's the reason why I managed to, make a little bit of money from it now. Today is Thursday. It is 3:30 p.m. So if you think what you guys are doing versus my luxurious time here. My main job is events, and I work all over the country. It is agency work, all 0-hour contract. So today on a Thursday, for example, most of you are going to be at work, maybe behind a desk or something, and I'm out hiking here. But I'm not getting off too easy, as I'm working tomorrow, which is 1 day this week. Then I'm working 12 days on the trot in another one, and then I'm going to be working down in London for a week, and then between January and April there's not really that much work. I managed to secure 3 days worth of work, but I can't live off YouTube by itself. Obviously with my basically I make around £1 a day. Doesn't sound much, but how many days are there in a year? And hopefully videos like this maybe it'll inspire you to go, you know what, maybe you want to make content and share your journey. Maybe it will make you a little bit of money. Who knows? You never really know. I did have a subscriber ask if I prefer being on the boat, hotels or at home. Definitely the boat. So the boat is where I have a lot of friends because they're all grown up, their kids are grown up, they've got the free time. They do tend to work 9 to 5 and I don't get to the boat as much as I'd like to, but the area that it's in is very nice. I'm just an hour away from it today, which means, I can go there, stay there, no problem. At home, my friends are my age and they're on young children and they've just got married and all that type of stuff, which means they don't really have that much spare time for me. And I also don't live in a very nice area, so there's always, let's just say there's always drama happening outside the front door. Chelmsford Wood is the area, so if you want to Google it, hit images or type into Google Chelmsford Wood riot or crime, something like that, and then you'll see a whole bunch of issues there. And then the hotels are nice, but I'm there for work, so a lot of the time I'm working long hours, so a lot of the events that I do tend to be like, I build a stand inside a shopping centre, I got to build it before the shopping centre's open, and I got to break it down before it's closed, and then I run it throughout the day, so build it, run it, which means it's long hours. And then usually you go into the next city. So for example, if I'm working in Liverpool 1, I've got to be there set up by 8 o'clock in the morning. Then I can't really leave until there about 7-8 p.m. and then if I'm working in Manchester, it's like another hour drive on top of that. So you're waking up in these areas. A lot of the time I work by myself too, so although I don't really feel very lonely very often, sometimes I am kind of like, you know, it's like this, you know, I'm by myself. It's a Thursday by myself on this really nice little hike and journey, and the rest of the world is basically working right now as I'm filming this. It's now about 4:30 in November and it's cold. Why do I want to buy a camper van was another question. So I work all over the country, as mentioned in the video, for event companies if you skipped, and a lot of the time there's some kind of downtime throughout the day, and you don't really have anywhere to kind of go because you're in areas that you've never really been before. You don't know anyone. It's not like you can just turn up to someone's office and go, hey, can I use your kitchen so I can use your microwave or anything like that. So just having a facility to cook, also to sleep. If you end up watching my stealth camping video, the last time I did it was in Bristol. Now the reason I stealth camped in Bristol is because I was working long hours, and if I went to the boat to get there in the morning, it takes an hour and a half. To get back on the evening, it's an hour from there. If I go home, it's very similar kind of distance and time. So essentially it's kind of about 3 hours to travel, like there and back. And do I want to do that 2 days in a row, so I'm commuting for 6 hours, or do I just want to kind of go and explore on the evening? You know, Bristol's quite nice. And speaking about vehicles and Bristol, a lot of the cities have the clean air zones now. My car is 15 years old. It is not clean air zone friendly. And each time I go into, say, Bristol city centre, now I have to take things with me, so it's not like I can get public transport or anything. Or if I work in London and I've got to take a vehicle down there, which is my own, then I have to pay the fines. And you know, they're not, you know, they're about £12 a go, which means if I'm working there for like a week, you know, it turns into a lot of money very quickly. So I suffer with, so a lot of the event companies, you know, the pay is not kept up with what I used to get paid. So for example, in 2010 when I started, you wouldn't get out of bed for less than £100 a day, and the minimum you'd get paid is £10 an hour. Fast forward up until lockdown, it was £10 an hour still, except minimum wage has risen and risen, and a lot of the jobs now. So if you ever see me at the NEC doing like zapping jobs, for example, that's the minimum wage gig. When I'm building the stands, I get paid more. When I'm doing the road shows and event management stuff, I get paid more on that, but it's nowhere near for what I used to get paid. One of the big jobs that I got cancelled last minute last year, like an EV company. Now that gig was 5 days a week, 200 quid a day, 6 weeks worth of work, so basically 6 grand, and it was cancelled last minute, no compensation or anything. And for the most part, I like doing the events because it's different all the time. I'm working with different people on and off, so if you don't like them, it doesn't really matter, but of course it goes the other way. If you do like them and you want to kind of hang out with them, then you know, one day you're in London, next day they're in Manchester, and you know, it doesn't really kind of work relationship wise on that kind of front. Now the main reason I do the events is before the boat I used to go abroad. So between January and April I used to go abroad, and I'd go places like India. You know, 30 quid a day, you won't live like a king, but you'll do all right. You know, you have a basic beach hut and you do all right. Whereas like the UK, you know, 30 quid for the day, you know, you can spend that by time you've hit lunchtime now. So I'd go to more affordable places, and I'd just, you know, watch the world go by. You know, the quicker I'd run out of money is the quicker I'd come back home. And then summertime is when I do the road shows, the festivals, all that type of stuff. And then Christmas time, which is pretty much now, is when I'll do like in-store sales. So one of the jobs that I've got lined up at the minute is selling Nespresso coffee machines. So that's 2 weeks there, and then I'm doing the job for, I think it's Mogul in London, just basically handing that out. And then tomorrow I'll be serving coffee in a local coffee shop as part of this co-op partnership kind of thing. But then I'm going to go out drinking with my friends, which is going to be great because it's been a long time. I've not been on the boat now for about 2 months, which is a real shame. As always, feel free to comment, like, subscribe and all of that. Let me know what you want to see, and see you on the next one.